So since you guys talked about vectors in lecture yesterday, I'm just going to do one more video on parametrizations of lines. And this time we're going to talk about a line passing through 2 points. So let's say 1, 2 and 5, 7. And you can start with the Cartesian equation and use things that I talked about in the last video on parametrizing lines to get to the parametric equation, or we could go to the parametric equation directly, because there are ways to think of it where that's more natural. So you kind of know from before, a line has a position and a slope. You can think of this slope as a direction. So we have a position and we have a slope, or we have a position. What if we thought of it as having a direction? Now this sounds like a vector, right? Sounds like a vector. So that's interesting. What vector would we use to talk about the slope of this line? Well, we have the change in y over the change in x is the slope, right? Change in y, this is delta. It's not just a variant of COVID. It means change. Delta means change in math. Okay, so in this case, our delta y is 7 minus 2 is 5. And then our delta x, change in x, is 5 minus 1 is 4. So normally you said your slope was delta y over delta x, which is 5/4. But here, let's talk about what the direction should be of the line. Well, this is a vector, so we should put the change in x here and the change in y here. So change in x would be 4, and change in y would be 5. So we have a position, which is any point on the line. So let's just use 1, 2 for simplicity. And a direction, 4, 5. So then we can say the line can be represented by the vector. We think of it as a moving point, remember? So you start at this point, 1, 2, and you add this direction t times, as many times as you want. And there's your line. And if you wanted to write it as equations, because you'll sometimes see it this way, you can. So there's the parametric equations. There it is in vector format. I think it looks better in vector format. You'll have to do both in WebAssign, so both are important.